What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton, cycling, and fitness, so be sure to subscribe. I post every single Sunday. Today I'm going to be talking about Apple's new fitness program, Fitness Plus. I was very excited when this was announced a couple months ago because I really feel like one of Peloton's downfalls is their integration with the Apple Watch. I think that it might be fixed on the Bike Plus. I have not ridden a Bike Plus, but on the base bike you have to use a secondary app where you connect your Apple Watch to that app on your phone, and then you send that information to the Peloton as your actual heart rate monitor. And it's like kind of janky. It works most of the time, but sometimes it randomly disconnects or it's hard to connect in the first place, and that's kind of annoying. And then if you're on the iPad taking classes, there's no way to connect the iPad to your Apple Watch, so you just kind of lose all of that heart rate data. And personally, I live in San Francisco, and in San Francisco I just have an Echelon bike where I take Peloton classes on it. So I take all my classes on my iPad, so then I lose all of my heart rate information for the cycling classes I'm taking, and I really wish I had that information. So when Apple announced Fitness Plus and said that, the Apple Watch was going to be a main feature of this, that the heart rate was really going to be incorporated in the classes and with the whole experience, I was really excited to try it out, and it finally launched this past week. So I took a bunch of different classes, and I'm just going to be going through the pros, the cons, and then kind of comparing it to Peloton, because it's a direct rival to Peloton, and Apple is just trying to get their foot in the door for the fitness program subscriptions that have really been popping up everywhere lately. Fitness Plus offers classes in HIIT, yoga, core, strength, treadmill, cycling, rowing, dance, and mindful cool down. And mindful cool down is basically just stretching plus some meditation at the end. So I kind of see the differences between Fitness Plus and Peloton as Fitness Plus has rowing and Peloton right now does not have rowing. They say that they're developing a Peloton rower and will have rowing classes eventually, but they have no launch date on that. It's not clear when that is coming. There isn't a lot of dancing content on Peloton, and I also think that is kind of different. Peloton has some dance classes where they teach you a dance in 20 minutes and you do it. They had some classes come out before the pandemic really started in America, and it's kind of just fallen off since then, and they haven't had any more classes. While Fitness Plus is definitely making dance a big category offering that they have, and their classes are a little bit different. They're more Zumba styled, where you're just kind of doing different moves to different songs and you just move through the class, compared to working on one dance to one song the entire time. So I think that just depends on what you're looking for with your dance classes. But at the end, Fitness Plus definitely offers more dance classes than Peloton. And then on the flip side, Peloton offers a bunch of different offerings that Fitness Plus does not offer, such as tread and bike boot camp, stretching classes, which you can kind of get from the mindful cool down, but I'll go into that a little bit later. Outdoor runs, which I really like, where the instructor's running with you and telling you when to go faster and go slower outdoors, and then meditation, which is also kind of with the mindful cool down. So they have a lot of overlapping class categories, but they also kind of offer some different classes to make themselves unique. Now I'm just going to go through all of the pros that I wrote down for the classes I took. I took classes in HIIT, yoga, core, strength, cycling, dance, and mindful cool down. I don't take any tread classes on the Peloton, and so I didn't take any with Fitness Plus. And then I also don't have a rower, so I couldn't take the rowing classes or even really speak if those are good classes. So just keep in mind that those are the kind of classes I've taken when I talk about the pros, the cons, and comparing it to Peloton. So the biggest pro, in my opinion, is the Apple Watch integration. It's just really, really great. Any device that you're on, so if it's your phone, your iPad, Apple TV, as soon as you start the class, it just seamlessly starts on your watch and is tracking your calories, your heart rate, and the time. And I just think that that is so helpful. There's no setup, which I find super tedious on the Peloton and annoying, and sometimes I can't get it to work. So I just like that it's such an easy integration. You just start and you have all the information you need. They also put your rings on the top right corner, so you have your exercise ring, your standing ring, and your calorie ring, and it's kind of fun to see those rings fill up as you're doing the class. I personally also think that the Apple Watch calorie counter is more accurate than the Peloton, so I can see the Apple Watch calories on the screen with my workout, because I think that they're more accurate since they have access to my heart rate. I find that the Peloton ones are just way too high for what I'm doing, and I just don't believe that I'm burning that many calories. So I like being able to see the more accurate count on the screen with my workout. The second biggest pro is great music, which is pretty predictable. I feel like all the music that's on Apple Music is probably allowed to be played on Fitness Plus, and I feel like they just have a really wide variety of music, a lot of latest hits. I feel like Peloton has always kind of struggled with music. They got hit with a lot of lawsuits because they were just playing whatever music they felt like and they had no license for it. So they've rectified that in recent years, but we just have more limited music on Peloton. So I'm really excited to see where Fitness Plus goes with this. I could see some like really awesome artist series like Peloton has, and I just like the fresh music. I feel like Peloton at this point I've like listened to a lot of the same songs over and over again, so it's kind of cool just to listen to new music while working out. A next big pro is I think that the instructors are really great. I think they're just as good as Peloton instructors, at least the ones that I've taken from. They're super engaging, super fun, know what they're doing, like they just have a really great workout, and it makes sense that Apple is getting the top of the top to teach. So I really appreciate that the instructors are bringing their A game, and now I have access to even more great instructors to take classes from. My next two pros are kind of the different features that Fitness Plus has. So they have a burn bar, which basically it'll tell you based on I think how many calories you're burning, if you're like doing better than the average person or doing worse. And they also try to like factor in your age and weight and height. I think that this is kind of a cool feature. It's not really necessary. And I also think that it can be swayed kind of because I took a HIIT class, but before I took the HIIT class, I took a dance class. So my heart rate was kind of already elevated, which means I'm going to burn more calories. So then I was like way at the top of the class. And am I at the top of people taking HIIT classes even in my weight and height range? Probably not. I'm not like super strong or anything. So I feel like it's not like that useful information, but it's kind of just cool and fun and something new to interact with. And then they also have for their cycling and HIIT classes, at least, I didn't see it for any of the other classes I took, kind of a countdown bar for push sections. So for HIIT, if they're like, you're doing 30 seconds of this exercise, they'll actually put the 30-second countdown on the screen, which I really appreciate because when I'm going hard, I'm just focused on like going hard until the end. And I like to know exactly when the end is. So I really appreciate that, especially in the cycling classes, to just be able to go all out and be like, okay, I have like 17 more seconds of this push, like I can go harder. And I find that that really motivates me, and I just love that kind of little feature. You could figure it out on Peloton, and sometimes I do because it'll tell you how long you have in the class left, and the instructor will be like, oh, we're going for 30 seconds. But then you like have to do math and figure it out yourself, while Fitness Plus will just tell you exactly how much time you have left. And then finally, the last pro for Fitness Plus is that you get the same features no matter what equipment you have. So with the Peloton, obviously, if you have the Peloton bike, you're going to get the best features. And I am very happy with my Echelon bike, and it was way cheaper than buying a Peloton, but you just miss out on some of those features. So I kind of like with Fitness Plus, yes, you have to buy an Apple Watch, and that is pricey and it is an investment. Once you have that, you have the same features no matter what kind of bike or rowing machine or treadmill you are on. Now I'm going to go through what I consider the cons of Fitness Plus. I think the biggest con is just the way that the workouts are saved and what data you have. So first off, the workouts are just saved kind of under your general workouts and fitness. And I find this really messy and kind of hard to find what you're looking for because all of your workouts go there. So when I do Peloton workouts, they show up there with basically no information, but it's still like an entry. If I just do like an indoor walk or indoor cycle through the exercise app, that goes there. Then these Fitness Plus classes go there. So it could be nice in theory because you have all of your workouts in one place, but I just find it really messy. And if I'm like trying to see like, oh, what was that one Fitness Plus workout I did? It's not the easiest way to find it. And then particularly for cycling, but I can also imagine this is true for treadmill and rowing, you just have no data about your workout except for heart rate, which isn't that helpful at the end of the day. So for cycling, it doesn't store your resistance or cadence because there's just no integration with that. Apple doesn't have its own bike, so you're just using whatever bike you have. And maybe you can save that into a different app and look at it there, but you're just never going to have that kind of seamless integration like Peloton has, that you can go see what your cadence was, your resistance, your output, if you're improving, if you're not improving. There's just kind of no way to tell once your workout is over. It is important to note, like I have the DIY Peloton with the Echelon, and I also don't really have that data saved anywhere. So if you're just comparing Fitness Plus to DIY Peloton, they're very similar, that basically you have no data saved. But if you're comparing Fitness Plus to the Peloton bike, where you're actually saving all of that data and you can look at it easily, you are losing a lot of information. And it's just not easy to tell if you're getting stronger, if you're getting weaker, or really how your ride was. Because yeah, heart rate is just not very helpful. It differentiates even based on if you've like eaten before a workout or not. Your heart rate's going to be different. So it's not that helpful at the end of the day. And then going off of that for the cycling classes, because there's no specific bike, the instructors can't give you a specific resistance number because, for example, Peloton does 0 to 100, Echelon does 0 to 32. So they can't be like, oh, go a 16 because it's not equivalent on all bikes. So they sometimes tell you cadence, although that doesn't really seem to be a main point, and then they're just kind of like go harder or don't go as hard. I feel like it also depends on what you want, what kind of class you want. If you just kind of want general guidance, the Fitness Plus cycling classes are for you, but since I've done Peloton for so long, I really like specific numbers to be like go 80 cadence, go 20 resistance. I really appreciate having specific metrics to hit, and for Fitness Plus, you're just not going to get that. I'm also not a huge fan of the mindful cooldown. So for Peloton stretching, they have very specific stretching classes. So they'll be like, oh, like leg stretching, ab stretching, like run stretching. But for the mindful cooldown for Fitness Plus, it's very vague. It's just like, oh, mindful cooldown for 10 minutes. So you don't really know what stretches you're gonna do. For the ones that I did, it just wasn't really focused on anything, and it was just like a little bit of stretching, and basically I just couldn't stretch out enough for what I needed. So I definitely picked Peloton for specific stretching content. And then I also feel like meditation after stretching is nice in theory, but if I wanted to do that, I could just take a meditation class. I don't like that it's like merged together, because sometimes I also feel like I need to take multiple stretching classes like before my workout is done, so then you'd have to do like stretching meditation, and I wish that they were just two separate offerings like they are on the Peloton. Another con is there's really no community features on Peloton. It's really big on who you're following, who are your followers. You get awards if you take classes with people that you're following. You can join certain hashtag groups and interact with them. So like I'm like in a corgi group because I really like corgis. It's kind of goofy, but I feel like it really builds the community and you feel connected to the other riders. On Fitness Plus, I'm not even sure if you can follow anyone. I follow my boyfriend on the watch in general, and I can see like how many calories he burns and what workouts he does, but it's just not as seamless as Peloton, and I really feel like they're lacking a community. I think it's possible that they will eventually build a community, especially with how lively their instructors are and engaging, and I think people will move over to Fitness Plus eventually, but for right now, Peloton definitely has them beat on community feel and kind of feeling like you want to come back and keep going on the Peloton. My last con is you basically need an Apple Watch for no reason. Yes, the heart rate information is nice, but you could do all these classes without a heart rate monitor and they're not super important. And at least the way I understand it, you just can't access it if you don't have an Apple Watch. So I feel like that's kind of a stupid and pricey barrier to get into these classes because you also pay a monthly fee. So besides buying any equipment that you need for the classes, you also have to buy this expensive heart rate monitor essentially to take these classes, compared to Peloton where yes, you have to buy the equipment that you need, but you can buy like cheaper versions of the equipment. So you could buy the same stuff for Fitness Plus and Peloton, but then to use Fitness Plus, you have to also buy the Apple Watch, where with Peloton, you could just not have a heart rate monitor. So I feel like that is a really big negative, and I hope that in the future, Apple will reconsider this because I feel like it's just kind of a barrier to keep people out for no reason. Overall, between Peloton and Fitness Plus, I think it really depends on what you want out of a fitness subscription program. I think if you're more into cycling, Peloton is probably more for you. Peloton's kind of based around cycling a lot more, and you'll definitely have specific metrics to hit during the class, which I think is more important. And then they also just have such a wider corpus than Apple does right now. I'm sure that Fitness Plus will build them up, but right now Peloton is just beating them in terms of content. If you're just looking for kind of core and HIIT, yoga, if you don't really want any equipment, I think that either could work. So if you already have an Apple Watch, I think Fitness Plus is a little bit cheaper, especially if you buy a year. I think it's only like $80, while Peloton is $13 a month if you're paying for the app. So if you're just kind of looking for general courses without equipment, Fitness Plus could be for you. But I think if you're interested in cycling, if you really want that community feel, if you want to do a lot of classes, Peloton is for you just because they already have such a strong community and corpus. I am interested to see if Apple takes their first launch and iterates on top of it. I think they do really have a good base product, and I think they have very passionate and lively and engaging instructors, so I am really excited to kind of see what they do with this platform that they've created. Also, if you already have an Apple Watch, you can get a free trial month, so if you're just wondering about it and you already have the watch, do the free trial. I think it's definitely worth it. Like, you don't lose anything, and that's what I'm currently doing right now. That's it for this video. I feel like I've been doing a lot of sit-down videos. I promise next week will not be a sit-down video. I just really wanted to get this out since it had just come out and give you my opinion. Let me know if you've tried Fitness Plus, what you think, how it compares to Peloton. I'd love to hear it, and if you have any good instructor recommendations, because I still have it for like 3 more weeks, so I kind of want to take some more classes and get more of a feel for it. I hope you guys are having an awesome week, staying safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!